That's nice. Can you hear me better now? Sorry, Shante. Okay, good. Sorry about that. I did not realize that it was still on mute, but okay, I am here. We are just looking at kwbresources.com, which is the office resources page. You guys are welcome to follow along on your end or just watch me kind of show you what we're going to do here and show you where those resources are available. And then if at any point you have questions, please feel free to either drop them in the chat like you just did, or feel free to shout them out. I do have the speakers on, so I should be able to hear anything that you guys ask online as well. But you guys are all completed through your onboarding process actually by selecting that first option here, the learn more option. It's taking you just to a sheet that details what the office onboarding process is like. This bottom portion, with the exception of this last little bullet point, is really what I like to point out as all of you are done with the onboarding process. The first thing we're going to do, obviously, together today is going over the KWB resources site. Also, we are going to take a look at our office calendar today. If you guys haven't kind of dived into what that looks like just yet, we're going to talk about Ignite briefly, which obviously is more of our foundational training experience for new agents. It's 20 sessions. And so, for those of you who don't know, we are launching again on July 10th. We're very excited, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move forward. There are two Facebook pages that I will share with you guys that I would recommend joining right away. In addition to some others, you're welcome to check out as well. And then attending office meetings. So you guys are in a great position because you're already knocking off some of those. So thank you again for being with me today. I am going to minimize that just so it doesn't block too much on my screen. So we are back now just to that new agent tab that we clicked on initially. We've looked now at this getting started option. And on the right-hand side under basic training, if you select learn more, it'll take you actually to Scott Leroy Marketing's website. So Scott Leroy Marketing is the support team that created all of your KW technology. They got you your email, your website, all of your fun login information across DocuSign, Canva, Zoom, all the things. But the great news about Scott Leroy Marketing is through our partnership with them, their support does not just end after creating this tech setup for you. They are also available to you guys to assist you with any troubleshooting. They're even happy to take some of the things off of your plate. Like if you reached out to them about assistance with anything, sometimes they will just ask you for your login and they will jump in and correct the issue for you or go ahead and upload something for you just to simplify the process. But just know that they are an available resource and it's super easy. You just send an email to them at support@scottleroymarketing.com. And it's within like 5 to 10 minutes that you usually get an answer back. But while we're on their website, I like to point out some key things. The first is just because the search bar happens to be right here. If you guys were to search, maybe you wanted to generate a QR code, for example. I know plenty of people are utilizing those now with their print marketing or digital marketing. And some people are not quite sure where they can go to create one of those for themselves. I know that that's true. That was true for me not long ago. So in the event that you guys are looking to create a QR code, you can literally just search QR code and it will come up with a generator form here. All you have to do is fill out a couple simple questions, specifically where you would like to link this QR code to and what your email address is. And as soon as you filled all that out within the hour, Scott Leroy Marketing will have created a QR code and sent it back to you. And then you can easily just add it to any documents that you're working with. So something to keep in mind, again, just because I know a lot of agents look to do something similar. The other couple things I like to point out to you under this agent resources button, and it is a button. It used to be a drop-down menu, so it's going to seem like an extra step here, guys, so bear with me. If you click the Agent Resources button, it's going to ask you to type in our Market Center number, and that's going to be 350. That's going to be a number that you will see repeatedly throughout your time at Keller Williams Ballantine, but just know that our Market Center number is 350. When you enter in that Market Center number, you'll notice, oh, there we go. I was like, wait a minute. You'll notice that this Agent Resources button is now a drop-down menu. So it's going to open up to more available resources for you now that it recognizes our partnership. So what I like to point out to you guys is that they do offer live trainings. If you go over to their training calendar, you'll be able to see they have training sessions Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 o'clock, and they vary on the topic, but they're all surrounding your KW technology or something similar. When it's coming to marketing or anything of that nature, they've got you covered just like Jules and Leah do in-house. I predominantly like to show this to you guys for two reasons. The first is obviously Jules and Leah are constantly rotating their topics of choice and what they're going to be focusing on each and every week. So, in the event maybe you were looking to learn about how to do a Facebook ad for the first time, and Jules and Leah, you could see on their calendar, they just weren't going to talk about that for the next couple weeks, but you were looking for some more immediate guidance on that, you can absolutely reference Scott Leroy Marketing's YouTube channel, their calendar, to see what they've got coming up. They very well may be touching on that particular topic within the next several days. So just something to keep in mind. When you click on any of these particular events, you can see exactly what it is going to what they're going to discuss, and that Zoom link there for you guys to jump right into that live training. I also like to point it out to you guys because I understand that everyone's schedules look different. So maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays when Jules and Leah typically offer their classes in our office is just not the best fit for your schedule, but you know you're available Monday, Wednesday, Friday more consistently. You guys are welcome to utilize Scott Leroy Marketing's videos and live trainings here because again, that can help supplement your tech training. So just because maybe Jules and Leah's schedule doesn't quite line up with yours does not mean that you can't get that information. So this again is going to be their live training calendar. You also probably saw that they do have some recorded training classes. So that's something to consider as well, especially if you're looking for specific content more on demand as you're kind of working through things. So those are the two key points I like to point out here. And I'll show you a little bit more about where you can access Scott Leroy Marketing's recorded trainings as well when we move forward. The other thing I like to share here is actually under store. So one of the biggest questions that I typically get as part of your onboarding is, do I get business cards provided for me? How do I go about ordering business cards? So if you and I have not had that conversation yet, and maybe you don't already have something lined up that you're looking to use, just by clicking on that store tab, it will actually take you to agentstore.com. Agentstore.com is a phenomenal resource, again, through Scott Leroy Marketing, where you guys can access already pre-done KW templates that have the right branding on them. They've got our logo specifically. It's very simple. You guys can literally click into the business cards. You'll see about 30 to 35 templates appear, and you'll be able to select through those and then decide what you think best fits your business, especially if you're maybe not the most creative person. You're just looking to get something out there quickly. This is a great resource because it allows a little bit of customization, but it's nothing too crazy. And a lot of the information, once you've selected that you're with KW and with our office specifically, a lot of that info will populate for you so that you don't have to even fill out a ton other than your own contact information. They also have a really great price point. So for me personally, this was 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. So inflation probably has changed things a little bit. But I was able to get 500 business cards for just $35. So something to absolutely consider if you are still hunting to find a business card. The biggest thing though to keep in mind when it comes to your business cards, especially to my provisional brokers, is make sure that you are confirming with Tasha Viney, our big associate, that your design is approved prior to paying and printing. The reason for that is, God forbid, you were missing anything that needed to legally be on there, or maybe you had something that legally could not. I would hate for anyone to pay for something and then not be able to use it. That's huge. But if you are feeling a little bit more creative, you really want to emphasize and capitalize on your brand and make a big deal out of that, you're welcome to, of course, go through like Canva or Vistaprint, something a little bit more design studio oriented. Just again, make sure that you're going back to Tasha and getting a little bit more insight, especially our provisional brokers, to make sure that you've got everything on there. But that is really everything I usually share. Obviously, you can get name tags here as well. That's another popular request I get because I know that name tags can be the spark of the conversation that gets you your first lead. So keep that in mind. They do have great packages available as well. But again, all of that was just through Scott Leroy Marketing's website. And then that last screen we were looking at is just under store. So now that we've looked over their site, we will move forward and back to KWB resources. So those are the first two tabs that we've now looked at. Again, we're still floating under that new agent tab. But just below here, you'll arrive at some list of Facebook pages. The top two are going to be our most active Facebook pages and the ones I'd recommend you joining first. So this top page, if you're not already a part of it, it's a internal Facebook page and a private Facebook group, and it is just our Keller Williams Valentine agents. So it's our agents and our leadership team on there. So you guys are able to communicate with the other agents in our office because obviously, as you can tell, we don't have 550 people trying to cram in this this room right now. So occasionally you'll see that the office may be a little bit quieter than our actual agent body size. So in that event, maybe you are looking to get some additional support or any kind of insight. I know a lot of times I see referral requests. Hey, like I've got a client who's looking to move to New York. Does anyone have a great referral agent that they love in New York? Our agents are super collaborative, and I do mean that very genuinely when I say that. So if you guys are looking for additional resources or guidance on anything like referral partners, our agents just ask it on that Facebook page because our agents will drop in there and screenshot contacts from their phone just to give you some suggestions on who you can reach out to best support your client. So keep that in mind. Another thing I always see is when people are looking for help with open houses. You see a lot of people posting to our Facebook group asking if anyone can help with a showing or an open house. Sometimes people are announcing firm exclusive listings. So something you can keep in your back pocket as well when working with your buyer clients. So keep all of that in mind. It's a great platform for you guys to communicate amongst each other and get some additional help. The other phenomenal thing about this Facebook page is I will be on there all the time, bothering you so much. Really, I try not to bother you, I guess I should say, but I will be posting about the different trainings and events that are coming to Valentine all day, every day. So that way you guys are first to know about any events that are coming up, and you can easily sign up. You can read about the event right then and there and click right on the registration link to go ahead and add it to your calendar. So keep all of that in mind. This is a great communal space for you guys to access. And very similarly, just below, we do also have a very like a sister Facebook page, I should say, and that's with our strategic vendor partners. So our strategic vendor partners are essentially preferred vendors. All of these individuals have been vetted by other KW Valentine agents. So these are vendors that have actually paid into our program to be part of the special opportunities at Valentine. So if you're looking to get connected with vendors, I also know a lot of times brand new agents, you may not have a slew of vendors that you know and trust at this point in time, and that's very normal. So in the event that you're looking to reach out to your first ever electrician, you have no idea who to talk to, or maybe you're looking for someone who can assist with HVAC, anything like that, you guys can find a lot of those wonderful vendor partners on our strategic Facebook page there. So if you select that option, you'll be able to be put into a private group with all the vendors and with other agents alike. The great thing as well is our vendors are communicating on there all the time about different deals that they're running, promotions, new services, and things of that nature. Again, just making sure that you guys are the number one real estate expert for your clients. So those are the two I always recommend joining. There are some additional here as well that you may want to check into and be part of as well, but those are the two we like to focus on. If you were to select this Kellerisms option, Kellerisms will actually take you to a PDF breakdown of the language you'll hear at Keller Williams Valentine. Obviously, if you've not been with a KW office before, you may be hearing some terminology you're less familiar with. Maybe you're not certain what a capper is, or maybe you heard a 145 and you're like, I have literally no clue what a 145 is. And that's okay, guys. That happens all the time. And I'll be honest, that happened to me when I first joined. So in that event, if you guys are maybe feeling a little shy, I completely understand. Or maybe it's just 2 a.m. and you're just a night owl and you can't quite sleep and you want to get a little more clarity on something. Kellerisms will break down all of the terminology you're hearing. And that way you have some real world terms to associate with it, and you'll have a better understanding. Below there, we're talking now a little bit more about the KW technology side of things. Obviously, many of you are actually already familiar with answers.kw.com, whether you've used it or we just talked about it during your onboarding appointment. But answers.kw.com is here to help you guys with your KW technology, dependent on the platform. It can be just about any platform within KW, but Command is typically the most common we see people working with answers.kw.com for. And that's actually just going to be if you click on that site, it will take you guys to a website where you can specify the platform that you're working with, but search keywords and you guys will find help articles on how to navigate these platforms, how to troubleshoot, or how to do things for the very first time. So if reading through solutions kind of helps a little bit better for your learning style, you're more visual, that could be a very good assistance for you just to consider and keep in your back pocket as you move forward with the KW tech. Again, it's really simple to just search through different keywords and you guys can find help article upon help article. They include screenshots and everything, so it makes it very easy to follow along and replicate on your end. A little bit lower, you'll come across like materials for Ignite. So if you guys have not yet received the PDF copy of the Ignite materials, you can download them there, or you can just reach out to me via email or grab them off the calendar. They live in several locations, but that way you guys have all the materials you need for Ignite. And then the other reference with that as well is we do also have spiral bound materials as well that you can purchase that are actual like pen and paper style. I know not everyone likes to follow along digitally. They'd prefer to have something physical in their hands. So in that event, you can purchase those for $35 through me or through Lynn. We're happy to help out with that. I know the light just kicked off behind you. I saw you look up. I did too. I was like, what is that? Sorry, guys. Motion sensor lights, man. As you scroll a little bit lower, this is one way to access our training calendar. I would say this is one of the most convoluted ways to get to that. So I would suggest instead that you guys just actually use this tab at the top to get to our training calendar, and we'll look at that more as we move forward. At the very bottom here, you also have access to booking conference rooms. Again, very difficult to kind of dig and remember where this is located. So this in particular is just under our More drop-down menu, and you'll see schedule a conference room right there. But when scheduling conference rooms, we have 5 available on this office floor. We also have 2 focus rooms. We encourage you guys to use both resources as they are available to you for free, just about any time you'd like. So whether you are meeting with a client, whether you are meeting with a coach, or just having some collaborative conversations with other agents, our conference rooms are absolutely available to use. And we allow you guys to book them for about 2 hours at a time. So please keep that in mind. You guys can easily just click on the register option. It will take you to a website. It's called sketa.com. And then it'll just ask you to log in for the first time, and then you can go in and drag and drop. The beautiful thing about this is it opens up into a really big spreadsheet. Across the top, you can see the names of every single conference room, as well as the capacity that they hold. And then down the left-hand margin, you can see all of the available times. So it's very easy to see what rooms are available and when, and then very easy for you to just simply add yourself to the list of registrations for the day. So our conference rooms, in case you did not pick up on it, are they're intended to be a little bit more for collaborative efforts that involve 2 or more people. So if you guys are looking to work with anybody, whether again, client, coach, or other fellow agent, a conference room would be a great setting for you guys to use. But if you're looking just for some private space to do some independent work, maybe you don't have an office, the hub might be too noisy for you one day, or maybe just the training room is not available because something's actively happening in there, you can absolutely use the focus rooms. Again, those are just private little office spaces with 1 desk in there. You can reserve them for 2 hours and just knock out your lead generation in a quiet workspace. So keep all of that in mind. The other thing that I always like to mention is I am an admin on this SCETA website. So if you guys ever experience any difficulty booking a conference room, you're welcome to reach out to me, and I'm happy to help out with that. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Mhm. Yes, you'll want to schedule the focus rooms through the same website. Yep. Mhm. Are you sure? Okay. I was gonna say, if anything changes, you let me know. What's that? Mhm. You should be able to just go in. I don't think is it requiring you to log in? Because I think when you go into Scott Leroy Marketing's website, it should, if I remember, oops, that was the wrong button. It should let you go to agent store, and then if you go into business cards, it should ask you to select Keller Williams, and then it should ask you. So the pop-up should ask you Keller Williams, and then it should ask you to select your market center. And then from there, it should just let you start designing. And then I don't know that you've already got an account set up through Agent Store necessarily. It might be like a checkout as a guest option for the first purchase. Um, but you should be able to design your whole card based off of any of those templates, and then you can customize the design within it. Let me know if that works for you. That do better? Okay. Okay. I was like, did that work better? Because I was like, otherwise, I was like, let me just take a peek when we're done. I was like, because I will 100% work through that with you. Okay, good. I was like, oh no. Okay, so this was again just all under that new agent tab, guys. So we're just gonna go back to our homepage here and scroll a little bit further down. And I promise as we go through this, we'll get a little bit faster. It's possible we may be like a couple minutes over, but if you have to leave, I do not blame you. I understand. And I want to respect your time. But as we scroll through here, you'll come across our wonderful leadership team. You'll be able to see everything that we do and what our roles are, as well as our contact information. So should you need to reach any of us for any reason, all of our information is posted there. Underneath our leadership team, you will come across two wonderful videos from Miss Leah. So Leah is one of our tech coordinators. She works with her sister Jules, if you're not already acquainted with them. The two videos she's got posted here are the two most relevant and immediately helpful videos for our agents. The top video here is about submitting commission requests. So when you guys are ready to submit a commission request, they have recently unveiled some changes to that. So if you're not quite as familiar with how to go about that process, this should assist you with that. And just below as well, we also have access to KW Command with DocuSign. This is a 25-minute ultimate overview explaining how the two platforms talk to each other and making sure that you've got your accounts properly linked so that your forms can populate very easily between your Command and your DocuSign. So watch through those videos at your convenience, guys. Make sure everything's set up for success prior to your first deal. You don't want to have any franticness going on when you have that first deal underway. But if you have any questions along the way of how to navigate that, you can always reach out to Leah. She's happy to help you guys out. And we'll talk about how you guys can book time with them as well. As we continue to scroll down, we do arrive at our office calendar, but we can always click on that tab at the upper banner, I guess I should say. And that would bring you straight down here so that you guys don't have to do all the scrolling and the hassle. But when you arrive at our office training calendar, you will see that it's kind of choppy here and it's pretty hard to read what's already there is that widget. So if you guys look in the top little blurb above the calendar, it says click here for full calendar view. By selecting that, that will open up to a full Google Calendar and make it just much easier to read through what's happening on a day-to-day basis. But this calendar will give you all the insight you need to know what's going on in our office at any given time, whether it is a recurring meeting, a special event or training, or maybe it's a fun social for our agents outside of the office. But this way you guys can navigate and see everything that's happening. So by clicking on any single one of these, you can see a description for the event itself. And if there is any registration required, you'll be able to see right then and there what that registration link is. So you guys can easily sign up for anything of interest, whether it's personally or professionally. So I know there is still a little bit of time between now and Ignite. So for those of you who are wondering like, okay, well, what can I do in the meantime? I would recommend start looking at this training calendar and see different ways that you can plug in. Maybe just coming into the office, start making connections and relationships with other agents. That's always a great thing to do in the interim. But absolutely take a look. We've got some wonderful opportunities coming up. Call time leads with Sue. That's going to be a phenomenal one for those of you interested in sitting up front with Miss Sue and taking any of the incoming calls to KW Ballantyne as potential leads. So consider that. That's a class that's a prerequisite before serving on call time. But then you can go into July, and we have got some great stuff coming up in July, guys. So please start paying attention to what you're seeing and just check out that at your convenience. Maybe spend like 10 minutes looking and just sign up for anything and add it directly to your calendar so you know exactly where to be and when. And then any questions you guys have as you're looking over that calendar, I work very closely with it. So please feel free to contact me with any questions you may have. Maybe you just want a little more information about something that's coming to Ballantyne, and I'm happy to assist. If we scroll a little bit lower underneath the calendar, you'll arrive at some upcoming events. Under the upcoming events here, you'll be able to see some of the recurring meetings that we typically have, like our team meetings, our ALC meetings, and our Tech Tuesdays. So we already kind of talked about how Tech Tuesdays are every Tuesday taught by Jules and Leah in-house. And just to reference, Jules and Leah do have a background with scholarly marketing, so you know that you're getting some quality information from the two of them. Our team meetings are the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. They're high energy meetings and a lot of fun. They're held right here in the training room. So if you've not already attended a team meeting, I would absolutely encourage you to do it because this room gets full. It's lots of energy, lots of laughs, and we have a lot of fun. So then on the other side here, you'll see that we also have ALC meetings. So our ALC meetings are actually a congregation of all of our ALC members collectively meeting to have to make decisions on behalf of Valentine. They are representatives from our agent body who volunteered a little bit more of their time to serve on different committees just to ensure that Valentine is the best place to be for any agents to call home. So they are going to be meeting and making decisions on behalf of Valentine before implementing anything. So that way you know that as a agent, your voice is always heard. But we'll talk a little bit more about the ALC in just a moment. As you scroll a little bit lower, we do arrive also at our wonderful broker in charge, Miss Sabra, and our BIC associate, Tasha Viney. So Miss Sabra is not commonly in the office. So typically what we always say is really any questions that you've got that are more administrative, a little less urgent, mainly meaning like my hair is not on fire, my client's hair is not on fire, and my transaction's not falling apart on a legal level. You can pretty much direct any of your questions to Tasha Viney. Her office hours are actually posted right here, and her office is actually just back here in this hallway. If you were to continue all the way back, she is in there, and she's got like a little sticker in her window that tells you who she is, so you know you're in the right spot. But her contact information is shared. Of course, when it comes to any of the legal questions or concerns, contact Sabra directly. Her email is also shared there. But between the two of them, you guys are in great hands. They've got so much knowledge collectively, and they are some of the most patient and kind people I've literally ever met in my life. So they are both wonderful resources for you at any point. And because we are in the wonderful month of June, I know that renewals is always a fun question and topic. So should anybody have any questions about that, especially newly licensed agents trying to figure that out for the first time, there are charts posted here that you guys can reference by clicking on any of them. If you want to make sure you're up to date on everything, that you don't need any additional requirements prior to the renewal deadline. So reference those at any point, whether it's this year or next. Those will be very helpful for you. And since we did speak already a little bit about our Agent Leadership Council, these are going to be those wonderful agents representing our Agent Leadership Council this year. And they are representing the different committees here. Our Growth Committee, which will come across here, our Growth Committee is focused on helping to build your profit share and your passive income. So if you have any interest in building your downline and receiving passive income, talk to the Growth Committee, connect with them. They do visits to Superior and they speak with students there. They do career nights and they have wonderful once-a-month meetings as well. They're going over the scripts that you guys would be utilizing and also just how to love on people and stand out amongst them. The other committee that you're going to come across here is Social and KW Cares. They are a charitable arm and special events coordinators. They are fun, having all the fun with planning our monthly agent socials, one of which we just had a couple days ago. So they will be coordinating all the fun events. I believe we're also having like a taco food truck sometime in September. So just, keep that in mind. That'll be really fun. And then we also have career development and DEI. So career development is focused on all the trainings and events that we've got coming up. And they are here to help coordinate that. All of these committees would love to have your input, your feedback. If there's anything that you guys have as suggestions for what to do in the future, or if you guys just want to be part of those conversations and get connected with these agents, they meet once a month, usually on the first Tuesday of the month. And then they also all will meet collectively to make those bigger decisions for the market center for our ALC meetings. When we scroll a little bit further, we are now kind of looking a little bit more towards what we consider kind of our mentorship here at Keller Williams Ballantine. So our brand new agents, this is going to be one that is a little bit more relevant to you. Productivity coaches or business coaches are going to be one half of that mentorship, so to speak. So if you've not already received an email, Lynn Davis, our MCA, is the one who reaches out to you via email. And she actually discusses with you guys, here's all of the available meeting times on a weekly basis for our coaches, and you guys are asked just to select what would work best for you on a weekly basis. But each of these coaches have an intimate kind of group setting where you guys would be coaching alongside them and fellow agents as well. And you can also schedule one-on-ones, but your coach is really here to help you guys launch your business and set you up for success. They want to make sure that that first year is as impactful as it can be. So they're going to help you guys with the lead generation, the strategizing. They're going to help you with script practice. They will also be a crucial element with the accountability that they offer and just making sure that you're doing everything that you set out to do and making sure that you're working towards achieving the goals you've set for yourself. So your coach is going to be half of that kind of mentorship, so to speak. And then the other half is going to be your transaction partner. So similar to how Lynn is going to reach out to you, I have reached out to everybody in this room that has a Keller Williams email. I reached out to you guys about getting you connected with a transaction partner. These individuals, again, agents who are volunteering additional time, just like your coaches, they all have successful businesses on their backs and that they are constantly and actively working in. But your transaction partner is going to be someone who's got the specialty and expertise when it comes to contracts and forms. So rather than just talking about how to generate business and what tactics to employ, wrapping your mindset around that, these individuals are making sure you guys are set and understanding how to fill out all the documents required for any given transaction and getting those to your client and successfully conveying their importance. So they all have, again, weekly meeting times. I will never say that right on the first try. They all have weekly meeting times, so you guys can just select which would work best for you on a regular basis, and we'll get you assigned to one of these individuals. Again, they're intimate group settings, so not too large, plenty of time to chunk down the content of those contracts and forms and get any of your questions answered along the way. So please keep that in mind. They are going to be a wonderful resource for you as well. And combined between the two, you guys should have the equivalent, so to speak, of what one mentor would be. When we get a little bit lower on this page, we do really just come across helpful resources and frequently used sites, but those are available to us in other spots on this website. I'm just going to take us back up top, just in case you guys are wondering who to reach out to. Under this FAQ tab, if you guys are wondering who does what on leadership, because maybe Market Center Administrator does not translate and you don't know what that means or what she does, that's okay. You can hover over any of these tiles that showcase some general questions, and that way you guys will have an idea of who on leadership is responsible for that particular job, and then reach out to them accordingly. Typically, anything financial related will go directly to Lynn. Compliance questions can go to Carla. Tech questions obviously can go to Jules and Leah, et cetera, et cetera. So then the next tab I like to show you guys is actually this on-demand training tab. If you select on-demand training, it will ask you to log in using a password. This password is not unique to you. It's a general password, so it's one that you may not already have handy. So that password is actually, I'll tell you guys out loud, and then I will repeat it again on the next tab. So if you guys miss it this time, don't worry, you'll get it again. It's a capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350, exclamation point. And it's capital B, lowercase a. Oh, sorry, no exclamation point. Sorry, everyone, backspace that one. That was the Wi-Fi password. My brain is not where it needs to be right now. So it's capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. And I'll repeat that one more time before we go on. When you do access the on-demand training tab, this is usually like one of everyone's favorite tabs to look at. On the left-hand side, guys, if you select this on-demand button, it will take you to our KW Ballantyne YouTube channel. So our KW Ballantyne YouTube channel is kind of like an archive of our recurring meetings. So first and foremost, full disclosure, this is not everything. This is not going to be every single training that we bring in. A lot of those special trainings we do not actually publish any recordings from, even if we have one. This is going to be focused around Tech Tuesdays, compliance orientation, which is now called How to Get Paid Faster, our fun team meetings, and things of that nature. So if you guys happen to miss any of those classes live, maybe your schedule just doesn't quite allow for live participation, or maybe you were traveling because, hey, it's summertime and you deserve to get away to the beach for a little bit. In the event that you guys are looking to reference what you may have missed, you can come in here and you can find any of the recordings from these trainings. And that way you guys can get access to that info at a time that works best for you. So the reason that I try to encourage you not to cling to this solely is because it's always best if you can participate live in trainings, whether that's in person or through Zoom. And the reason being, as we already saw, you guys can ask your questions in real time. So I think it's just a little bit easier for you guys to have the live participation for full clarity. But of course, in the event that you miss anything, or again, you just have a really complicated schedule at this point in time, this is a great resource for you to get a lot of that recurring meeting information. So So close out of that. I am the one who uploads the videos here as well to that YouTube channel. I usually upload them about once a week. So in the event you guys are noticing anything is missing that you're specifically looking for, please feel free to reach out to me via email. I am more than happy to send specific things to you. Sometimes YouTube just argues with me and tells me absolutely not. It will not publish my recording. So in that event, it doesn't mean I don't have the recording. It just means that YouTube doesn't like it. So just let me know if I can ever help you. If you're looking for something specific, I may have access to that for you. And very similar, and we've already briefly talked about it. If you click the command on demand option, this is going to take you to Scott Leroy Marketing's YouTube channel. So again, if maybe our schedules are a little more complicated and we're looking for some more tech assistance or knowledge that will just help carry us through at a time that just works a little bit better, Scott Leroy Marketing has published video upon video for years. So they are covering all of the fun updates and everything in real time. They're giving you quick tech tips all the way to full length trainings that you guys can go back to. And as always, their cover photo on the video tells you exactly what the video is going to be on. So it gives you a good reference as to whether or not that's what you're looking for, or if you should move and try to find a different video. But again, they've got them all categorized into different playlists here just to help you guys and understand where to find certain info. But that's going to, again, just be another great support system for those of you who are looking for additional tech help beyond maybe what's available through Jules and Leah in the office. Then we also go over just a little bit more info about Ignite at the bottom, but we will move forward. The next tab I always talk about here happens to be Office Resources. Before we click on that, I'm just going to hover my mouse for a moment here, guys. The reason for that is for some reason, I will tell you, it's just far easier to find some of these pieces of information here versus when you click into the tab. So this little drop-down menu, the first thing is going to be advertising guidelines. So maybe for those of you who are not provisional broker, you're regular full broker status, but you've got some questions about what I can and can't publish digitally or in print marketing, you guys can reference all of the regulations and restrictions in place for any of that under the advertising guidelines. It will open up and allow you to kind of sift through any of the specific rules regarding what you can and cannot market. The other thing below there is going to be commission request. Again, this is updated information about your commission requests and submitting those for the first time, because obviously when you close on a property for your client, you do want to get paid, and we understand that. So when it comes time for that, please, please, please pay attention to the commission request. Make sure you guys are looking through that information during the duration of your transaction at the latest. You definitely just don't want to have to wait until the final moment to put in the commission request because that's all you were waiting on. That's got to be the worst feeling in the world. Like, I've got the check, I gave it to Lynn, but now I can't get paid because I didn't submit the commission request. So that again is going to have that video that Leah had posted on the front page there, and it just walks you through how to submit a commission request. The other drop-down menu item is the do not call list. So I know many of us have heard about the do not call list because I think real estate school probably drilled that into your heads. There is a lot of importance surrounding this particular item. If you guys plan on calling to lead generate, especially cold calling, and you're not quite sure who's on the other end of the line, it is of the utmost importance you guys know whether or not that person has requested not to be called by adding themselves to this list. So in the event you guys need to access this list, which most of us probably will, click on the do not call list option in the dropdown. It will give you a step-by-steps on how to register to access those individuals so you know who not to contact. And if you don't already know, the reason for this is for those individuals who've asked not to be contacted. Should you inadvertently contact them without realizing it, you are subject to thousands of dollars in fees as well as potential time in court. So that sounds miserable. So do yourself a favor at your convenience. Just walk through those step-by-step instructions. Make sure you have access to the do not call list so you don't make the mistake of contacting the wrong individual and facing any consequences. But those three happen to just be much easier to locate in this drop-down menu than on the actual page. But when you do click on Office Resources as a general tab, it is going to ask you for that same password. So if you didn't quite get it earlier, that password is a capital B, lowercase a, M, C, 350. When you hit go, it will take you into the rest of our office resources page here. There's a couple things I like to mention specifically. For those of us, I believe everyone on this call happens to be North Carolina licensed, as well as those in person today. So for North Carolina licensed agents, under this general form side on the left, if you select the Get Forms option, this is going to take you to a Google Drive folder. And this Google Drive folder has all the different forms and contracts and all the fun things that are specific to KW Ballantyne. And I say that specifically because this is not going to be all of your state contracts, documents, and forms, but this is going to be everything relevant to you as part of this firm. So this is not everything, but it is a good chunk. You guys will be able to find in here our Office W-9. You guys can find referral agreements. Sabra is very big on collecting septic and sewer information, so that is in here as well. We also have addendums. We have coming soon no-show information. We also have goodness, it just slipped my mind. Disclosures about our partnerships. We partner with Heritage Title, which is a title insurance company. It's important that you know where you guys can find those disclosures as well. So please do reference this particular Google Drive folder. I always make the joke that between this and your DocuSign or your zip forms through Canopy Matrix, all that fun stuff. Between those two entities, between this folder and wherever you are getting your state contracts and forms, you guys should have everything you will possibly ever need. In the event that you guys are starting out in this folder, bless you, you're starting in this folder and you are realizing you're missing something you can't quite find, gosh, I can never I'm not an agent. Full disclosure, not an agent. So when I'm just like messing up all these names of forms, please pay no mind. But if you guys are realizing like, hey, I cannot find the agreement that I need, the offer to purchase. I can't find the offer to purchase in here. That's okay, guys. Check then in your DocuSign or check then in your Canopy. Between that and this, you will have it. Same thing, vice versa. If you started out in your DocuSign and you're realizing you cannot find our Office W-9, it's probably the biggest request I get. Your Office W-9 is going to be in this Google Drive folder. So between these two resources, you should have everything you could possibly need. And then just for point reference, if you guys are South Carolina licensed or go on to become South Carolina licensed, the same forms for our firm exist for South Carolina on the right-hand side. The next thing I like to point out is under Office Checklist. If you select the Get Checklist option, this will actually take you again to a Google Drive folder that Miss Sabra created herself. All the documents in here were actually created by Sabra as well. And each of these is going to walk you through your responsibilities as an agent, no matter what state you're representing, North or South Carolina, and no matter what side of the transaction you are responsible for. So for those of us who've not done real estate pretty much ever, this is a brand new opportunity for us and our first time dipping our toe in this career. It's not muscle memory for you to walk through a transaction yet, and that's completely normal. So in the event that you want some additional kind of reference guide or support, knowing what to do and what you're responsible for, you guys can select any of these checklists and it will literally tell you here's everything that you need to do for that buyer sale checklist for South Carolina. And then here's the little timeline that you need as well. Some of these are several pages, but it really does just help you guys to see, have I gotten all my ducks in a row? Did I get them all done in a timely manner? And that way you guys just know that at the end of the deal, you're not going to realize, oh my gosh, I missed something. So please utilize these guys. They are here to help give you that extra boost of comfort and confidence going into those first several deals. Even if you guys are an experienced agent, maybe you're just like, you know what? Let me just make sure I'm not overconfident going into this deal. That way you guys, again, just have that additional support. You're welcome to print them off and physically check them off or just reference them as a loose guide, save them in your own Google Drive folders, just to make it easier for yourself more than anything. A little lower here, the other thing I like to point out is we do, as Keller Williams Ballantyne, we partner with two different real estate school education sources. So in the event that you guys are looking to take advantage of that for yourselves or would like to kind of share the wealth and give that opportunity to someone else, you absolutely can. CE Shop happens to be posted here, but if you guys are ever looking, we also partner with Superior School of Real Estate. You just have to go to discount codes for real estate education in this drop-down menu, and it will allow you to access all of our discounts. discounts. The CE shop, we have a fluctuating discount. It could be anywhere between 20 to 50% off. I know yesterday it was actually 50% off. And then Superior is a long-standing 30% off. The biggest thing with these discount codes, guys, is while you are welcome to utilize them, whether it's for your post-licensing, for your continuing education, you can also share them with someone for either post CE or pre-licensing, especially, is pretty common. If you guys are excited because your cousin is finally getting into real estate, give your cousin our pre-licensing discount code. They do not have to join KW Valentine to utilize it, but it can just make their day and make you really, again, just spread some love and happiness into their life, make them smile by helping out with getting them a discount. When you're on the CE shop website, though, you can, like I said, kind of review what those discounts are looking like. For those of you who don't know, CE is going to be a self-paced opportunity, and I know that that's not quite for everybody. With that being said, sometimes it's interesting and intriguing enough that we might want to try it out, but we don't necessarily want to commit to spending hundreds of dollars to maybe crash and burn if it's not the best fit for us, and that's okay. CE Shop offers something very unique, and that's a free trial of self-paced learning. So if you guys are going on to do any of the things, maybe you are like, hey, I am going to go get my South Carolina license and I'm really excited about it, but I've never tried self-paced, but I think I want to. You guys can absolutely check out the free trial option here. Do it for 1 whole week. Find out if it's a good fit for you. If it is, you guys can sign up with your credit card right then and there to continue on. If you hated it and you never want to see that score ever again, you guys can back out of it. No skin in the game, no consequence to you. And that's a great opportunity to kind of check that out. The other thing that I always like to point out, and I swear this makes me look insane because it used to be at the top. Let me just start out. It used to be at the top, nice big button, but now I have to go all the way to the bottom and look at the world's smallest print. But if you guys go to the very bottom here, under Agent Essentials, there's a really unique feature here. It's called Hot Topics. I always point this out to you guys because I know that social media marketing is a huge source at this point in time for real estate agents. So if you guys are looking to market your business through social media, I am not Jules and Leah. I am not your expert, but I do know that it is very important for you guys to keep these pages active. You want to stay in front of people at all times, preferably posting daily, to my understanding. And the other important thing is that you're diversifying what you're posting. Don't be posting the same thing over and over and over again because it's going to decrease the traffic coming to your page. If you're changing it up, you may be directing new traffic to your page for the first time. So with that being said, it's very difficult to come up with something to post every single day. Like that's a lot. So for those of us who would like to kind of hit the easy button and have a little cheat code, you guys can reference CE Top's Hot Topics. These are different blogs, ebooks, podcasts, and videos that you guys are welcome to utilize for your own benefit by reading through them, listening to them. But you guys can literally also just copy and paste the link to your personal pages, or your business pages, and that way you're keeping your you're keeping your page active, staying in front of people, diversifying the content, and you didn't have to do anything. So something to keep in mind for those of us who are planning to do social media marketing as a heavy resource for lead gen. That's going to be a great thing to keep in your back pocket. But all that to be said, everything found on the CE shop is right here for you. And you can access our dual branded website just by clicking on the Find Classes option. Our Valentine floor plan, pretty sure that is the old floor plan, so don't even look at it. It will confuse the crap out of you guys, I'm sure. But also, I don't have a physical copy of our current floor plan to upload yet, so just bear with me, guys. It'll get there one day. At the bottom here, we do also have numbers to know. So, hey, Liz, I did go get my South Carolina license. I'm so excited, but it's asking me for a firm license number for South Carolina, and I don't know what that is. That number, amongst many others that you may not realize exist, are all here under the numbers to know section. Another common one that I get asked, again, with relevancy to referrals, is what is our tax ID number? Our tax ID number or our EIN is posted right here as well. So again, just keep that in mind, guys, because you're going to come across some numbers here and there that are asked for, that you're asked for on different contracts and forms that maybe you literally have just never come across before. And those kind of funky numbers do exist right here under the office resources. You'll also see, as we mentioned earlier, our market center number is posted here in the bottom left, just to make things easier. Wi-Fi information is also shared here should you ever need it. But all of that to be said exists under the office resources here. As I mentioned, Office Calendar, just for show, it will do all the work for you guys by dragging you to where you want to go, and you don't have to do anything at all. Under Tech Resources, you have an opportunity to kind of review more specific info from Jules and Leah. You guys can see the tech calendar specifically, and kind of like keep all the other stuff blocked out of the way and just focus in on what they'll be talking about. You guys can access the answers.kw.com website where you can read through the solutions for your KW questions. You can access Scott Lowry Marketing's website as well. So just keep in mind, like I said, different ways to get to the same information, but easier access, I'm sure. And then under this More tab, just a few things to point out. The ALC meeting minutes, if you were to miss one of the meetings that ALC got together and made big decisions for the Market Center, and you really, really want to know what they discussed, because that is not a recorded option, but it is a recurring meeting, you guys can access a Google Drive folder of our meeting minutes and see exactly what was discussed, who was present, and what they shared. So that's a great way for you guys to plug into anything you may have missed from there. Below there is our prayer request form, which really is more of a talking piece than anything. And it's just to let you guys know how heavily and sincerely we consider you to be our family now that you've joined KW Ballantyne. So in the event that there's ever anything going on in your lives, please just tell us and let us know as much as you feel comfortable doing so, because we would love to be aware so that we can best help support you through that. Whether it's literally just giving you a hug in the hall, praying on your behalf, or, if you said, hey, I believe in the power of prayer and I want it as big and as grand as possible, we'll tell the whole Market Center for you so you can have 550 people praying for you. So please just let us know, again, when anything's going on in your world. The biggest thing for us is we want you guys to be safe, be happy, be healthy. So keep us aware so that we can help support you as best we can. And then also is KW Perks below there. This is in regards to insurance. For those of you who are new to real estate or maybe new to this career path, and for the first time you don't have health insurance on your own, or maybe you don't have a partner who has it that you're on, or parent at that point in time, KW Perks, it allows you to search the marketplace at a discount. You guys can access and review different insurance options that are available to you and hopefully find something that works well for you. Even if you do have insurance, it really cannot hurt just to play around with and see if there's something better out there. But KW has recently partnered with Capstone Financial to make all of that possible. So plug in a little bit of your info, give it a go, and see if there's something great out there for you. We already talked about the scheduling a conference room. Underneath is KW Firm exclusive listings. We briefly talked about KW Firm exclusive listings earlier. So should an agent take a listing that they only want to market to our firm and our agents, that is very possible. We see that from time to time. So if you're looking for like a little log of what the firm exclusive listings available are, you can find them by clicking on this particular button. It will take you to our Google Sheet. It's a live document, so it's always updated with relevant information on what is available out there and what is a live listing for our firm. Strategic vendor partners, guys, as if you maybe forgot to join that Facebook page, it's okay. I will be able to introduce you to all of our vendor partners still. So if you click on the strategic vendor partners button, it will open up to a spreadsheet here where it shows you everyone in our vendor program. So that again, you have access to all of our wonderful preferred partners that you know have been vetted by a KW Ballantyne agent. So they are someone you can trust. So they are all organized by their particular field or by their industry. That way you guys, again, just easy to find what you're looking for, and you can compare quotes very easily by reaching out to pretty much anybody under that list. I know it's important, again, the rule of 3 for your clients, so make sure that you have multiple options, and you'll find that just here. You'll find our individual contact with that particular company, what their information is, services that they offer, as well as website information. And the last thing I point out when we're looking at this is you'll notice, for example, under flooring, we only have one gentleman currently listed under flooring, and that's not because we hate flooring specialists. It's actually because we just happen to only have one person under flooring in our vendor program at this point in time. So if you guys have ever worked with someone that does flooring and you were like, oh my God, I loved that guy. He did such a great job and I cannot wait. I think you'd really benefit from the opportunities here because it is a win-win opportunity for our vendors as well. It's simple, guys. if you would like to introduce them to the vendor program here, introduce them via email, a three-way email with Angela Bueno. Her business cards are up at the front desk. And just say, hey, Angela, this is someone that I've loved working with in the past. He's a great flooring specialist, and I think he'd really benefit from the opportunities here at Ballantine. Would you mind explaining more about the program? And Angela will literally do all the legwork. She will tell you, she will go over all the details of the program with them. And that way you guys only have to make that simple introduction. But again, pay attention to anybody that you see we are low on. If you know somebody, please let us know or let Angela know. And then obviously use this as well for helping you to help your clients. And we'll close. Also, you guys are not required to utilize only the vendors on that spreadsheet. I should make that clear as well. You are welcome, of course, to use a different vendor if you've got someone you know and love. But this is just a helpful tool if you're looking for someone for the first time. And then back to the More tab, we also do have access Outfront Magazine specifically, similar to that Hot Topic section of CE Shop. If you guys are looking to hit the easy button one day on the social media, Outfront Magazine publishes monthly installments of what you can post every single day. They make it that easy. So every single month, they are telling you a post for every single day, and you can easily just rip off and duplicate and add that directly to. Oh, I was like, what is that pop up? Sorry, guys. Then you guys can add that to your social media just to simplify the process. Discount codes for real estate education. We did touch on that already. The last thing I will share with you guys on this particular site, other than just saying that this Facebook icon will take you to the private Facebook group we're all part of, this I need tech help button. Again, we will have talked about this already during our onboarding appointment together. But again, just to reiterate, if you guys are looking to schedule 30 minutes of time for free with Jules and Leah, you guys can navigate through and see all of their availability in the given month. So if you click on any of these blue circles, you'll be able to see here's what their availability looks like. You can book 30 minutes of time with them, specify who you are, if you prefer to meet in person or through Zoom, and then tell them what you're looking to talk about, whether it's, hey, I'm brand new, I want to learn the basics, or hey, I am ready to actually start doing Facebook ads. Tell me how I need to do that. They will teach you anything and everything for free to implement on your own. But if you get to that point of growth in your own business and you're like, yep, nope, I just don't have time, I need to leverage this, you can leverage things to Jules and Leah as well. So keep that in mind, guys. That is a 30-minute free appointment, and all you have to do is click I need tech help. So very simple there. And I know that that was a lot, so I'm going to give you guys like 30 seconds to digest. If you have any questions, please ask them now. I am going to show you, for those of you who can stick around for like not even 5 extra minutes, I'm going to show you one other thing before I dismiss you. But before we jump, because technically it's a different site, do we have any questions in person? We'll start there. Yes, Miss Keisha. No, you're fine. Mm-hmm. Oh, so for scheduling a conference room under more, you'll see schedule a conference room. That will take you right to SCADA. And that way you can either book a conference room or a focus room. And then for commission requests will actually be submitted through your command, through the opportunity specifically. But if you went under like the tech resources here, there is a video. Oh, shoot, not tech resources. Sorry. Under office resources, commission request. That's where you can find the video that's going to help walk you through how to submit a commission request. So while that's not where you're actually submitting it, it is going to be helpful information to filling that out for the first time. You don't have that on here? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. That says concession request. I've been reading the wrong thing. Sorry. Commission request then is on the homepage. This is concession request information. You're absolutely right. I'm going to backtrack really quickly to everybody online. I misread that because that is something we literally added last week. So concession request, if you guys have to request a concession letter of any kind for your transaction, that is where you guys can fill out a Google form. It goes directly to Tasha. It's going to actually ask you just a handful of questions to make sure she's got all the information she needs in order to submit and give you that concession request. She found that a lot of times right now, especially, she's just been going back and forth with agents trying to get the information she needed. So she figured if I can simplify this process, just give you all those questions up front. So if you guys have to ask for a concession letter of any kind, access this concession request and fill out those questions, Tasha will get that letter back to you as quickly as possible. So for commission requests, sorry about that. Specifically, you can find it on the homepage by the can't miss video. It's going to be right here under there on the left. You're welcome. Thank you for being here, Jasmine. Oh my gosh, no, you're totally fine. Like life is important. You've got all the things. Have a great one. Here, thank you. So for those of you who are able to stick around, the really brief last thing I was going to show you is how to do an email blast to all of our agents. Because again, Facebook is a great communication tool for you guys. But sometimes with that being said, Facebook algorithmically, if not enough people are interacting with your post, it can kind of push you towards the bottom. And that's just the unfortunate truth of social media. So if you want something that you can guarantee is going to stay in front of everybody, go to mykw.kw.com. So it's mykw.kw.com. And when you do log into that website, it's going to actually appear with a login screen. Your credentials are the same as what you're using for Command. So it's what we created together when we met to finalize your onboarding. But once you've logged into that website, this is kind of what that site should appear as now. What I always point out to you guys and how you can do this email blast is by going to the intranet, which you can access at the very bottom here under quick links. It's the bottom left option. It says MC350 intranet. If you select that, it is going to take you actually to a little library here that shows you all of the posts that have been done recently. You can even go through, and if you know, like, oh, Josh Kelly posted something about an open house yesterday, but I'm not sure. I don't see it here. So let me reach out to, let me try and find it real quick. You can hit the search little magnifying glass option. You can search keywords trying to pull up that specific information from a past post that maybe is not right here. But to create your own, guys, it's very simple. You just hit this add a post option. And then it's going to ask you what kind of post you would like to do. I believe some of these will be grayed out for you guys. So you will want to select the associate post option. And then it's going to allow you to designate a channel. The channel that you choose does not change the visibility of your post at all unless somebody was filtrating specifically on that particular channel. But agent announcement, of course, would be the most general. So if these categories do not quite fit what you're sharing, agent announcement is going to be the easiest option. But when you guys or when you click in there, it's going to ask you to create a post title. This is going to give you 100 characters as a post title that you can add. This is going to come through as the subject line of your email. So whatever your post title is the subject line and header that I'm going to see in my inbox. You guys can add a URL as well if you're trying to link them to a site of any kind or give them some reference to find out more. You can add PDFs or JPEGs. You can, I believe, I'll have to double check. I think you can add up to 12 in here. You do have to do them one at a time though. So sometimes it's easier just to combine it all in one doc and then put it in. But you can add PDFs or JPEGs. And then you have 190 characters here to do a post blurb. This post blurb is going to be this short little body of your email. So between your post title, which is my heading, and then your post blurb, that is my entire email. However, I know that 190 characters is really not a lot. That's pretty limited. So should you have more that you're trying to share, all you have to do is hit this add full message button and it will open up to another text box that allows you to type indefinitely as much as you would like. So you can add more information there. The biggest suggestion I always have for you guys is just make sure that, like, if you're typing your one sentence, I always make sure I have enough characters to add see full post at like the end of my little post blurb. And the reason for that is when this email comes through and I have my little subject line, I have my post blurb, there's going to be a blue button right below there that says view full message. And if I select that button, I can then open up and see everything else that was typed in here. If I choose not to click that button, I'm only going to see this little bit here and this little bit here. I won't have any idea that you've posted that. So I always put the see full post portion as well, just so people know, yes, there is more information on this. If you're interested, here's where you can find it. They can just click right on that button. But all of this will come through. All you have to do once you're happy with it is you can just hit the publish post button. That's that simple. And then it will trickle into everyone's inboxes. All of our agents, our leadership team, everyone under the sun basically will receive that via email. And then also it will live in that little library we looked at initially for the next several days, up until basically enough posts have just pushed it out of view, but doesn't mean it's not accessible still. But that is the best way to go about an email blast again for sharing big information. Sometimes we see people who are saying, hey, my sellers need to offload this washer dryer immediately. We're looking for anybody and everybody to take advantage of this opportunity. They don't even want money, free to a good home. And then you guys can make that post and send it out. We see open house opportunities and things like that go through as well. But again, that's the easiest way to guarantee that everyone will lay eyes on your information. And so something to keep in mind. The last thing that I typically tend to mention with this, and I'm trying to remember now that I've lost my train of thought, is when you guys do create this post by hitting publish and it's going through to everyone's inboxes, 9 times out of 10, to the best of my understanding, you will not receive a copy of your own email. So it sometimes can be a little confusing as to whether or not that was successful. Like, did it go through or not? In the event that you're doing this for the first time and you're not sure if that went through successfully, you can always email me and say, hey, Liz, I just did a post. Can you just look and see if you got anything from me? I'll be able to confirm whether or not it came through. If it came through to me, it went through to everybody. But that is the only thing that's kind of like the one caveat there, is that you might just not see the confirmation yourself. But in that event, always reach out to me. I'm happy to be your second set of eyes. But that is truly the last thing I wanted to share with you guys. So I appreciate everyone who stuck around with me for those extra few minutes today. But before we truly close this down and I let everybody enjoy their day, do we have any questions on this particular site? Check here, make sure no chat. Okay, I'm gonna say we're online, we're good. I think in person we're good. So I'm gonna count that as a win, guys. I appreciate you all so much for being here today and giving me an hour and 10 minutes of your time. So I will allow everyone to now go back to what they were doing. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will hopefully see you all very soon. Thank you so much.